All right, so we'll get started with the Great Barrington Planning Board meeting for Thursday, June 8th, 2023. This is a remote meeting being conducted by Zoom pursuant to Governor Baker's March 12, 2020 order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law and Governor Healy's March 29th, 2023 revised order extending remote participation by all members in any meeting of a public body. This meeting of the Planning Board will be conducted via remote participation to the greatest extent possible. For this meeting, no in-person attendance shall be permitted, but all members of the public may attend remotely by following the instructions on the agenda. Specific information and the general guidelines for remote participation by members of the public and or parties with a right and or requirement to attend the meeting can be found on the town's website. Every effort will be made to ensure that the public can adequately access the proceedings in real time via technological means. Additionally, pursuant to MGL 7C30A Section 20F, after notifying chair of a public body, any person may make a video or audio recording of an open session of a meeting of a public body or may transmit the meeting through any medium. At the beginning of the meeting, the chair shall inform other attendees of any such recordings. Any members of the public wishing to speak at the meeting must receive permission of the chair. The listings of the agenda items are those reasonably anticipated by the chair, which may be discussed at the meeting. Not all items listed may in fact be discussed, and other items not listed may also be brought up for discussion to the extent permitted by law. Additionally, per section 241-1 of the town code, except for procedural and housekeeping matters, town residents shall have the right to address a board on any item that requires a vote at a time before a board votes on that item. Such residents will be allowed as much time as the proponents of any item is permitted to have. All right, so we are recording and we have our board members here. And since we're remote, we'll do a roll call attendance. Jonathan Hankin.
I am here.
Pedro Pachano.
I'm here.
Jeremy Iga.
Here.
Brandy Nelson. I'm here. And Malcolm Fick is unable to join us. Oh, and Jackie. No, Jackie.
And Jackie was looking for the link, but I told her it was in the agenda, so she should be joining us shortly.
Okay. Great, thank you. We'll make note of that when she's able to join. So this evening's agenda is rather abbreviated. We have Form A's. We have 2 of those that were sent out to the board members ahead of tonight's meeting. Chris, are you going to be able to share those on screen?
Yes.
Okay, so that Mark can discuss them. Hi, Mark, how are you?
Which one do you want first?
Oh, you're muted. Let's do the 3 Seekonk Road Form A if you have that one available.
Okay, Mark, do it.
Yep, Seekonk can go first. Yep. Okay, we ready to roll?
We are. Please go ahead.
Okay. This first one, I'm here, Mark Reynolds from Kelly Granger and Parsons, and I'm here representing Rufus Jones and Jill Rosenberg Jones. They have property on Alford.
Mark, you froze. So we'll wait for your connection to be restored, and then you'll have to tell us again about the Joneses and their property on Alford Road.
Acres of land. And I'm back.
Hold up. Yes, you're back. So if you could go back, you got cut off right when you said you were representing the Jones family.
Okay. All right. They have property on Alford Road, about 3.4 acres they own. And what they want to do is pick up a parcel from their neighbor, some backland in their neighbor who is Jeffrey Taylor. So they want to pick up 1.6 acres, no frontage involved, just to add to their property, to bring their property up to 5 acres. Jeffrey Taylor's remaining land, the frontage is not going to be touched. He still has 390 feet of frontage approximately, and he has a little over 9 acres left with his property. So it's all just backland from his. He's zoning compliant with frontage for the remaining land as well as with acreage.
Okay. Board members, are there any questions?
No, I would move to approve, to endorse.
Okay, we have a motion to endorse by Jonathan. Do we have a second?
I'll second. Pedro.
Thank you, Pedro, seconded. Do we have any further discussion? All right, we'll do roll call. Jonathan?
Aye.
Pedro?
Aye.
Jeremy?
Aye.
Brandy? Aye. All right, great. Thank you, Mark.
Okay.
We'll do the second Spruce Drive. I had a hard time making heads or tails of this plan, so I am assuming the shaded areas will help. You'll be able to explain it. Okay.
Yeah, this one's a little more complex than the last one, but it's actually pretty simple when it all boils down to it. This used to be park property for the Barberries years back. And Berkshire Natural Resources and the American Institute of Economic Research both own two large pieces of property, basically different shares of it. They don't have sole ownership, they own it together. And what they want to do is split the property into a couple individual parcels so they each can get sole ownership of their properties. And there is one of the properties is about 196 acres. It's the property at the top of the screen, right by the north arrow.
Okay.
Okay.
And that property then, right below it is property that the Institute owns, right in the middle. And then the other piece that jointly owned is down in the bottom left, the lot 3 and the lot 1. So basically what they want to do is the shaded areas is property that's jointly owned by the two of them that they want to break off and convey sole ownership to the Institute. So they would have lot 1 combined with their already existing property just north of lot 1. And they're also going to get lot 2 on the, right there where that is. So then at the end of the day, they'll have all continuous property that's theirs. And the remaining land in the pieces, which would be lot 3, which is about 32 acres, 33 acres. Berkshire Natural Resources is going to get sole ownership of that. And the remaining land at the very north top of the sheet is also going to be sole ownership by Berkshire Natural Resources.
Okay.
So it's essentially a land swap.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, in a sense it is. Like I said, they do all have ownership to it to a certain degree at different percentages. But yeah, it's essentially going to be a swap. And then at the end of the day, everything is going to be solely owned and no joint ownership with the lots.
And Spruce and the parcel on Spruce Drive is actually potentially a building lot.
Yeah, it does. I don't think they have any interest in using it as a building lot, but it does meet the standards. It has frontage, it has acreage, correct.
And the other one is not.
The other one is not, no.
Yeah, okay.
And that's all addressed on the notes to the side there.
And just out of curiosity, do you have to go to Alford as well?
Yeah, matter of fact, Mike is in Alford as we speak right now, addressing the Alford one.
Okay, great. Good to know. All right. Board members, any question on this one?
No, I'll move to endorse this one as well.
Okay, thank you, Jonathan. Do we have a second?
Second.
I think Jeremy beat you, Pedro. So Jeremy will second this one. And Kim, just for the record, Jackie was able to join us, so she's now on the call as well. So we have a motion by Jonathan, a second by Jeremy to endorse the A&R for Spruce Drive. We'll do a roll call vote. Jonathan?
Aye.
Pedro?
Aye.
Jeremy?
Aye.
Randy? Aye. All right, Chris,
Did
what do we want to do about
Jeremy second that, or did Pedro?
Jeremy seconded it.
Okay.
It was almost a tie, but we'll go with Jeremy this time. We'll do shared seconding. Chris, what's our policy at present for signing? Do we need to make a time to come down and sign these?
Ideally, yes.
I don't know if you're still authorized to sign. Yeah. Okay.
No, maybe the board would want to vote now to authorize me to sign on your behalf, both of the Mylars. I know the one for this current one is more urgent, and I'm not sure whether or not they can wait for all of you to come in. So
okay.
Failing that, you can maybe vote to give me the authority. I'll check with the Register of Deeds to make sure that will be okay with her.
Do you have the Mylars? Because I could stop in tomorrow morning.
I don't. Well, this one is in Alford right now, so it'll be here tomorrow. The Mylar can't be in two places at once. Nor can Mike.
Yeah.
Right.
So if the board would entertain, Brandon, if you'd entertain a motion to authorize me to sign the Form As on the board's behalf, that would.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So,
So moved. So
thank
moved.
you, Jonathan.
Second,
And thank you,
Jeremy.
Jeremy, for seconding. Any discussion? Okay, Jonathan, your vote?
Aye.
Pedro?
aye.
Jeremy?
Aye.
Brandy? Aye.
I
All
need
right,
you all
Chris.
to come in, I'll let you know.
Okay, you
Will
have,
you, I'm actually gonna be out of town, so I'm around tomorrow, but then after that, I'll be out of town for a couple weeks, so,
We only need 3.
okay,
Yeah.
perfect,
okay, I'm not gonna be out of town. Lucky you, Jeremy. Hope you're doing something fun.
yeah.
Okay, Mark, thank you so
He's
much.
skiing.
Okay, thank you for your time.
No, not
Appreciate it.
skiing, the
Bye.
Good
opposite.
to
Have a good night.
Good to see you, Mark.
Okay, we have a small bit of additional business. Hi, Jackie. Glad you could join us.
You're
We have
muted.
the minutes of May 25th meeting. Do we have a motion to approve as amended?
So moved.
Thank you, Jonathan.
Second,
Second by Jeremy. Thank you. Do we have any discussion on the minutes? Hearing none. Jonathan, your vote?
Aye.
Pedro?
aye.
Jeremy?
Aye.
Brandy? Aye. All right. I don't know if there are any members of the public, Chris. Is there anyone out there for citizen speak?
There are 3 folks on the line, one of whom was one of the applicants and
Oh.
2 members of the press.
Okay. Do any members of the public wish to speak? We're at the point in our agenda for citizen speak. Yes, Mr. Jones? You just need to unmute yourself, sir.
Hello, Rufus Jones.
Hi there, how are you?
Thank you. I'm the president of the James Weldon Johnson Foundation and also the owner of 101 Alford Road. And the 5 acres is a completion of, well, the beginning of the first step of restoring the land that James Weldon Johnson and Grace Nell Johnson purchased in 1926 in Great Barrington, which is highlighted in his autobiography Along This Way, where he bought a 5-acre tract. And if I could just quickly read a little bit, he said, I rode in 1926, I bought a little place in the township of Great Barrington, Massachusetts. I rode one day by an overgrown place where a little red barn was all that stood out amongst the weeds. The house on the place had burned down. A bright little river ran under a bridge and circled around behind the barn. On inquiry, I learned that there were 5 acres in the tract. And I said, quote, this is the place for me, end quote. Grace and I studied the possibilities and decided that we could remodel the barn, keeping the interior and the old hand-hewn beams just as it was. We did, and named the place 5 acres. There we have made our home ever since for part of the year. When we purchased the land, my wife is the literary executor and she was bequeathed this in 2010. And we learned that the property where he wrote some of his famous works called 5 Acres in Great Barrington was available. And we purchased it to protect it and restore it. But when we read the deed, it said 5 acres more or less, but our surveyors couldn't find more than 3. 3 the minus. We think that fence had moved over the past six decades because Johnson died by hip accident in Maine in 1938, and he was the only person that really went back there in that remote area.
Mhm.
For 12 years, and thanks to Jeff and Amy Taylor, the previous owners, the Shaws, had the property, but they sold it to the Taylors, and then the Taylors, Jeff specifically, wanted to help restore the historical record and restore 5 acres to its name, 5 acres. So that's where the 5 acres comes from.
Thank
Oh.
you for sharing that.
It's
That's really amazing.
Is there was a writer's cabin there. Is that on the 5 acres now?
Exactly. So the land that, the 1.6 acres is right behind the cabin.
Ah.
And we wanted to protect the cabin in the event that the owner, future owners, it was sold out from under us, or there was building or any other issues that we couldn't control. But we did know that the cabin needed to be protected first of all with a boundary. And as you may know, you may have read that we've received nearly $200,000 in last year to restore the exterior. We're hoping to get additional funding to restore the interior. So I invite, if you all around on June 17th, please free to stop over and take a tour of the cabin. We'll be there next weekend.
Great, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Cool.
Thank you very much.
We appreciate that. Thank you so much for sharing that. Are you advertising that widely, or is this planning board invitation only? Just
Yeah,
curious if you want us to share it.
Feel free to share it. Sure.
Okay, great. Thank you.
I may not be able to feed everyone, but we'll. But say you're a guest of Rufus and you want to see the cabin.
Thank you, Mr. Jones. We appreciate it. All right. Anyone else, Eileen or Heather? Okay, if there's no further hands raised, we will adjourn without objection at 6:17. And I think, Kim, that's got to be the shortest meeting. No?
I think so.